There's been a lot of discussion about the Online Safety Act in the last few weeks since it was implemented at the end of July. The UK's Online Safety Act, of course, was conceived with very noble aims, protecting our children from harmful online content. But I think it's fair to say it's got a lot of critics. Some people are calling it the Online Surveillance Act, smothering the internet under bureaucratic fear while failing to make it safer. Lots of the media are complaining that it's an abomination, it's intrusive, it's making us less free, and actually not making us safer and not protecting our children. So the good intentions are there, obviously. I don't think anybody has any issue with what it's trying to achieve, more the method it's using. The problem is very real. Half of 13-year-olds have been exposed to pornography, inadvertently mostly. 25% of child suicides are linked to online material. Whether this is the actual stuff that's being protected, I don't know. I mean, under my reading, it seems to be more in social media and discussions between different individuals, but I'm not sure completely, rather than harmful material, which the Act defines. And 69% of the British public support age verification against age verification to access adult material. I'm not quite sure if that's right either, but it was quite a well-respected survey. The solution, anyway, what the Online Safety Act has implemented is that all these platforms must verify users' ages. Now, when I say platforms, this is another bone of contention. It's anything that contains harmful or adult material, which in itself is pretty vague. You can argue the adult is quite explanatory, but harmful, I'm not sure. One person's harmful is another one's useful information. I don't really know about that. There's some big fines involved. Ofcom can fine companies up to 10% of global revenue. And combined with this sort of vague definitions and the harsh fines, a lot of sites are just blocking access to UK users. So you're seeing chat rooms and forums block. I know of 2 football forums, only small ones, that decided to just call it a day because they didn't want to take the risk. They were run by individual football fans and they never made any money. But hey, I liked them, but they've gone now. There was an MP speech recently about adult grooming, ironically by a Conservative member of Parliament, who of course created this act, although Labour implemented it. And this was age restricted. You couldn't access it without going through the age verification process, although you could find it on Hansard, and it was freely available. Again, this is confusing, isn't it? Content on one platform's blocked, but you go onto another platform and it's freely available. It's making the internet smaller and duller and not really safe for UK users. There was definitely an issue here. Self-regulation clearly wasn't working. These websites, these social media platforms have not regulated access to harmful content for our children. So something needed to be done, but is this act the way to do it? I just want to show you now the big problem with it, the VPN issue. Is a simple workaround. The main function of the Online Safety Act, of course, is this age verification. If you go to an adult site or a grown-up, any sort of grown-up site with material for adults, you're supposed to verify your age by, again, it's not defined very easily. You either have to use a passport, upload your driving license. Obviously, people are really not keen on this. Or use your credit card to make a micropayment. Some are using biometrics to look at your face and verify your age. There's so many workarounds with that. There's actually a game now where you can take a picture of the the character, but you can control it. The age verification asks you to open your mouth or put your hand up or something like that, which you can do with this game, and it's bypassing the age verification biometrics, so it doesn't work there. But the big one is VPNs. So if you want to go to an adult porn site and you don't fancy putting your passport to this dodgy site, like many people won't want to, you can just use a VPN, and of course that's what people are using. Now I'm going to show you what happens to the. Now this isn't actual age verification. As I mentioned, lots of sites are just blocking UK users, but it's exactly the same thing that happens here. And this is an AI art site, which is fine, but if you read that, you can pause that if you want. But it basically say, we don't want to get involved. We haven't got the resources to pay any fines or police anything here, and haven't got a way of implementing age verification, because the government haven't really supplied one, to be honest. And they just blocked all the UK users. Now I'm going to show you here is a VPN I use. I use a couple of VPNs, Liberty Shield and this one, NordVPN, which is my probably my go-to one. I use it for watching BBC A Match of the Day when I'm abroad on holiday, and when I'm outside my trusted network, so I can access my webmail and banking and stuff like that safely. It's called NordVPN anyway. So let me just show you. This is the extension in the browser. You can install it in a few different ways. It's only the basic version. Cost a couple of pounds a month, about half the price of a sandwich where I am. And it sits in your taskbar, and if I click on a different country, I can create this virtual private network tunnel to a different country, and it will now give me a French IP address. From this point, the Online Safety Act doesn't apply to me. None of the age verification. I can go to all the adult sites. They won't block me. They won't ask me for any ID. This site, which is blocked to UK visitors, let me just refresh it. Because it now thinks I'm a French visitor, I can use it perfectly well. So it's an enormous, simple bypass. All sorts of people are buying it. I mean, people should use a VPN anyway, so it's a sensible security precaution. It's very inexpensive, so searches for VPNs have shot up. It just allows you to browse as if you're a different country and bypass all these restrictions. Of course, if that other country has a restriction, but NordVPN gives you about 60 to choose from. So most tech-savvy children use VPNs anyway. They use them to access games and different things, different servers, and to buy cheap games from Steam and stuff like that. My kids have been using them for ages. So tech-savvy children are buying them. It's basically one click to bypass the whole age verification. And the people who don't have the money, and say younger children who don't any sort of got debit cards or anything like that, are being pushed to these awful free VPN services, which you can find online, but they honestly don't use them. Of normal VPN, you pay a little subscription, and it pays for keeping the servers on, the lights on in the data rooms, little people to look after the servers and make sure they're running properly and your data is secure. Free VPN services don't do any of that. They make money out of the data that you pass through them. So they log your data and they sell it off to different companies. Ironically, usually to adult and gambling sites. And they'll stuff adverts on your computer. They'll install malware and adware. This is what we're making our children install if they want to bypass these Online Safety Act. And of course, some of the adults who don't fancy spending £2 a month or whatever. And of course, there's plenty of them as well. So these are hugely risky, and I advise not using them if at all possible. And that's basically it. My main problem is the Online Safety Act can be bypassed with a VPN. And it takes no skill, no technical knowledge. You basically press a button. To turn off my VPN, I just go back to it and I disconnect it. And now the Online Safety Act applies to me. And that's all there is to it. Okay, anyway, thanks for watching. I want to keep this video short, and I have failed dramatically as per usual. Thanks for watching.